Officials are asking for your help to find the 2 Wolfe County inmates that escaped last week.
March going out on a very gorgeous note across central and eastern Kentucky. No fooling, April starts exactly the same way. But I do have some thunderstorms showing up in the 7-day forecast just ahead.
Call him the man in the middle. We're talking with an Air Force veteran who lives surrounded by students near State and Elizabeth.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good afternoon. The search for 2 inmates continues 6 days after they escaped.
State police say cousins 19-year-old Dallas Trent and 23-year-old John Trent got away from the Wolfe County jailer while they were being transported last week. They were headed back to the Three Forks Regional Jail after a court appearance. WKYT's Sam Smith has the latest on the search in our top story at 5:30.
The Wolfe County jailer says they've looked at what happened last week and have taken strides to make sure it doesn't happen again. Dallas and John Trent were being transported from the Wolfe County Courthouse to the Three Forks Regional Jail in Lee County before the deputy jailer's transport car slowed down when the vehicle in front of him slowed because a dog was in the roadway. Officials say the Trents took that opportunity to jump from the car and escape.
It was just the moment for them to go.
Jailer Greg Banks says their hands were cuffed in front of them, and one of them reversed the child safety lock when entering the back seat, allowing them to open the door from the inside.
We done some work on the doors. We took the door handles out and got them a little more secure.
The Trents were in jail on robbery charges. Now they're looking at felony escape charges on top of that. Banks says his deputy is torn up about this.
Yeah, it's bothered him pretty bad. He's a good fella, does a good job. It's just one of those things. It happens, and we work hard to try to keep it from happening, but things do happen.
If you know where the Trents could be, you're asked to contact police. In Wolfe County, Sam Smith, WKYT.
State police say they've received several tips about where the Trents could be, ranging from Lexington to other states. Law enforcement agencies across Kentucky have been notified of the escape. We have this new video just in from Officer Don in Sky First of a forest fire in Menifee County. The fire started this afternoon in a sawmill at Farrell's Logging and Lumber off Highway 713 near Frenchburg. High winds spread the flames into the forest on both sides of the road. Crews from 5 departments were called in to battle the flames. The fire destroyed the sawmill and the fire is now out. Crews are still working hot spots in the forest. We'll have a report from the scene on WKYT News at 6.
The case against 2 men charged in a murder has been waived now to the grand jury. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Laurel County. Jonathan Humfleet is charged in the death of his cousin Clifford. Deputies say that Jonathan shot and killed Clifford last week. Another relative, River Humfleet, is charged with facilitation to murder. Deputies say that River gave Jonathan the gun he used to kill Clifford. The grand jury will hear their cases on April 17th. In Whitley County, police say a report of a suspicious person led to a meth arrest. Williamsburg police say they were called to a railroad bridge at 5th and Maple Streets. When they arrived, officers say that 31-year-old Arthur Kennedy ran from them. Police say a K-9 unit found him hiding inside a lumber yard a short time later. Officers say they found chemicals used to make meth and several boxes of pseudoephedrine. Kennedy is charged with fleeing and evading, resisting arrest, possession of meth precursors, and public intoxication. A well-known Frankfort restaurant had to close early today after a woman drove into the restaurant during her lunch hour. Gibby's on Broadway posted these photos this afternoon. According to the State Journal, police say the woman crashed into the side of the building after mistaking the gas pedal for the brake. The driver was not hurt, but the vehicle hit a booth inside the restaurant, and a patron inside was taken to the hospital with minor injuries.
It was a dramatic scene. Witnesses wrestled a man to the ground and held him there after they say he hit a Louisville school bus and tried to run off. WKYT's Sean Moody joins us from the live desk with the latest. Sean?
Hello, Jennifer. Ricardo Perez faces charges of DUI and leaving the scene of an accident, among other charges. He had his arraignment this morning. Bystanders said he was driving a truck that crashed into a school bus in Louisville. This here is cell phone video of several bystanders restraining Perez after a crash involving a school bus and a pickup truck around 4:30 yesterday afternoon in Louisville. Police say the truck slammed into the bus. Now, several students had to go to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Witnesses told Louisville TV station WLKY. The driver took off after the crash.
And when he saw like a lot of people and he saw the kids getting hurt, he just took off running. He ran that way and there was like 200 people after him, so he couldn't escape.
Witnesses held Perez down until police came to arrest him. In that cell phone video, he denies that he was behind the wheel of that truck. Perez is in jail on a $10,000 bond. At the live desk, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Perez is also charged with possession of marijuana. Also in Louisville, a high school was evacuated today because of an odor in the building. 53 Western High School students complained of headaches, coughing, runny noses, and eyes. They were checked out by paramedics at the scene. 8 students and 2 staff members were taken to the hospital. The cause of the odor is still under investigation. It's described as being similar to pepper spray or mace.
It's been a gorgeous day in the bluegrass with sunny skies and temperatures nearing 70 degrees.
This taste of spring is expected to last the rest of the week, but something else could come along with it. WKYT's Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has the latest. Chris?
Yeah, a lot of temperatures today with those gusty winds hitting 70 to 75 into most areas. We said we may have a little taste of May weather here for the final days of March into early April. And boy, here we are dealing with it. Though look at the strong cold front to our north. You go from 30s into parts of Ohio to near 80 into sections of western Kentucky. It's 78 Bowling Green, 79 showing up into Paducah right now. That front is working its way from north to south into northern Kentucky as of now. Now, we're not going to cool it down that much, but tomorrow will be a few degrees cooler than what we have out there right now. 73 into Lexington, 72 Frankfort. Hello, Danville, 72 here. 73 for the good folks into Richmond and down into Somerset as well. Live first alert defender, a little cloud cover creeping into our picture, but overall not a whole lot to write home about. Focus of the forecast on some late week showers and thunderstorms that begin to join the spring fun, or maybe crash the spring party. How about that? We'll track those showers and thunderstorms when I come back in just a few minutes and talk about your big Easter weekend forecast, guys. That's right, Easter just around the corner, and we'll let you know what to dress for in about 10 minutes.
Thanks, Chris. The Lexington Fire Department is asking people to do their part to prevent brush, grass, and mulch fires. Battalion Chief Joe Best says the dry weather and dropping humidity is creating dangerous fire weather conditions. A burn ban is in effect until 7 a.m. tomorrow. There have been 12 brush, grass, or leaf fires since 7 this morning. The fire department is asking people to avoid setting any outdoor fires, including garbage, cooking, and construction debris. All open burn permits are also suspended.
The area is best known for its wild post-UK basketball game celebrations. Officers line the streets of State, Elizabeth, and Crescent Avenue during the NCAA tournament, keeping a close eye on rowdy people.
But it's not just police looking out for the younger crowd. WKYT's Kristen Kennedy caught up with a longtime resident of Crescent Avenue.
In an off-campus neighborhood of banners and beer cans, there's a UK employee living beside UK students.
Tell them I'm Tom and I live here in a house with a big tree in front and whatnot, and make a deal with them. I tell them that, hey, if I make too much noise before they go calling the cops, come talk to me and I'll return the favor.
Retired Airman Tom Akins has lived with his wife on Crescent Avenue for 11 years. The pair care for about a dozen wild cats in a neighborhood known for its wildcat devotion. This house is part of that prime real estate where hundreds of fans gather post-UK games.
After the UK games, you won't find Akins out here on State Street with his neighbors. He watches the celebrations from his front yard.
I stop anybody by them not coming in. They're not tossing the beer bottles and cans up in the yard, so it makes it easy to keep those out.
He keeps a close eye on the property, but he also has a soft spot for the students. Leadership training in the Air Force taught him how to handle them.
As you go along in rank, try to remember what it was like when you were, so you can kind of think of, you know, okay, kid's gone out and done something stupid. Well, I did something stupid similar to that too, you know, so just kind of chew him out, but don't rake him over the coals unless it's really stupid.
In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
He works for the UK College of Dentistry and says the best part of living on Crescent Avenue is being able to walk to work.
If UK beats Wisconsin Saturday night, it could set up an epic national championship game on Monday between two of the greatest college basketball programs. Our good question, when is the last time UK played Duke for the national championship? Our chief meteorologist, Chris Bailey, actually posed this question to me a couple of days ago. It's been longer than I would have thought. The last time and the only time UK has played Duke for the national championship was way back in 1978, and the Cats came out on top 94-88. You might remember, sparked by senior Jack Goose Givens and his 41 points, the Cats gave Coach Joe B. Hall his first national championship as a head coach. Givens' 41 points were 3 short of the record for a championship game. And he did that, by the way, before the 3-point shot. If you have a good question, go to WKYT.com.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Some politicians are turning up the urgency factor as time runs out to get contributions for their campaigns.
And Senator Rand Paul's big announcement is expected sometime next week. Here's Bill Bryant with the bottom line.
Good evening. Your email inbox may have been busy with politicians begging for money today. Candidates are up against a first quarter deadline. Now, the deadline isn't technically until April 17th, but that's not stopping candidates from making a push for money by midnight tonight. Candidates always like to use the deadlines to drum up interest in their campaigns and to demonstrate momentum and how committed their supporters are. Some political activists complained on Twitter today about being bombarded by requests for donations. We're learning a few more things about President Obama's first visit to the Commonwealth in almost 4 years. That's coming on Thursday. The president will arrive in Louisville and travel to Indaitas, where he will address invited guests about the economy. The president's arrival and departure on Air Force One are closed to the public. With an official announcement expected next week that he is running for president, Republican Senator Rand Paul has now scheduled several trips to key GOP primary and caucus states. After his announcement at the Galt House in Louisville, Paul is expected to travel to New Hampshire, Iowa, Nevada, and South Carolina. It's being called the Stand with Rand Tour. Kentucky lawmakers just wrapped up in Frankfort, but some former teachers want them called back into a special session to deal with retirements. If nothing is done, the executive director of the Teachers Retirement Fund told CN2 that the unfunded liability of the plan that pays the pensions will grow to more than $21 billion by this summer. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
It didn't take long. It's only been open 8 months, but a Kentucky outlet mall is already planning a major expansion.
The outlet shops of the Bluegrass in Shelby County plans to add over 50,000 extra square feet. A news conference is planned for tomorrow afternoon to announce details of the expansion, including the names of the new stores coming in. Those stores are expected to be ready to open by the end of the summer.